Welcome to episode 9. Today I'm going to take you to a very special place. Let's go. I'm going to take you to a very special place where lots of spiritual things have happened involving demons and deliverances, and me sharing some spiritual knowledge with all you folk out there that want to learn. And it's funny, our last 3 episodes have been about the 3 topics of fasting, better off alone, and get back up. If you haven't seen them, you need to watch them, because you're going to see today, through these stories about demons and little clips of my life, how all 3 of these really combine to tell a significant part of my story, and not just my story, but help illustrate great spiritual principles about demons and about the whole nature of the spiritual, invisible realm. So let's just pick up in the story where I'm in rock bottom, down and out, and let's find out what happens. So there I was, just sitting in this place where I would come every day and just chief the world away. I'm talking rolling a blunt after blunt, smoking my mind away. Even after I had gotten away from lots of other vices like alcohol and other things, this right here, where I'm sitting right now, is the place where it would all go down, where I would sneak off to go by myself, to just blaze the world away, to just try to cope with all the destruction that I had in my life from being at the place of rock bottom. So there I was, just sick of the addiction, sick of everything bad that was happening in my life, sick of being depressed and having no reason to live, sick of just all the bad things happening to me, from money to family to really anything that you could possibly think about. So there I was, just thinking I would rather die. I would rather die than live another day like this. As I'm chiefing on the blunt, it's just like something came over me where it was just like, the Lord was my only chance. I was raised with a good foundation. I knew He was my only chance. And I got to that place where I knew about fasting, and it was like, I'm not going to eat anything until the Lord changes my life. Until I hear something from the Lord or He gives me this miracle I've been praying about, I'm just not going to eat. I refuse to eat. I'm ready to die. I'm not eating until I'm hearing You, Lord. So I just laid out. I was just laid out, literally, just on the ground, laid out. I didn't eat or drink anything, no water, no anything, for 3 days, and it was on the 3rd day when this happened. This actually happened twice for my deliverance out of this whole lifestyle. Twice, the exact same ways, and you're going to see how the demons come into this. It's really weird, and it might even sound crazy. So anyways, I had gone 3 days without eating or drinking anything, just laid out, just putting it all before the Lord, like, this is my life, Lord. This is my life, and You're my last chance. You're my last hope of anything. My last hope to resurrect my life, hopes and dreams, the successful man that I once was, the charismatic individual that was social and had lots of talents, God-given talents that could be used for good in this earth and for the kingdom. And so I'm just laid out. We're going to fast forward so I can keep this under the 10-minute format, because I want to share as many stories as I can under that time frame. And all of a sudden, it was at the end of the 3rd day, I just felt like I was just dying. I just felt like I was dying. And it felt like something, all of a sudden, just felt like something was just leaving me. And at that last moment where I just felt like just death all around me, just encompassed by death, all of a sudden, 4 squirrels, this is where it gets crazy, 4 squirrels in a military formation, they come up 2 from each side, and they march right towards me, and they all jump on me to try to attack me. And we know squirrels don't eat meat. We know squirrels don't, that's not normal behavior for squirrels. So immediately when that happened, it was like something left me, and all of a sudden these squirrels come attacking me, and then I felt some sort of life just surge into me, and I just sat right up and just started swinging, and then the squirrels, they just took off, and they just got out of here. And I said this happened twice, where that was like a surge of life brought into me, and then even a couple months later, I was feeling better, like something had left, but it still felt like there was still something there, and I was like, maybe I need to fast again. Maybe I just need to fast more. And because I was getting a little bit closer to the Lord, but I was still in that real dark place. But I still knew the Lord was my only chance. So again, I fasted for 3 days in that same mentality. Like, I just don't care if I live or die. I'm just putting it all out before You, Lord. I was just praying. I was reviewing the scriptures I knew. Everything I knew about God. Just my life on the line. Just putting it all before Him. It was all serious. And again, 3 days of no food or water. And again, I was laid out, same exact way. This is so weird. And at the end of the 3rd day, I just felt that death closing in on me again, just ultimate death mode. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Again, 4 squirrels, as I'm feeling something leaving me, 4 squirrels come flying. And I'm not talking about like the animal flying squirrel. I'm talking about just regular looking squirrels came just flying, just soaring out of nowhere, just soaring right at me, landing on me. And I had a little stick that was like a staff, and I just started swinging it again. And I felt just life just surge back into my body again. And I just sat back up. And that was the ultimate deliverance right there. And it was after that point that I just felt different. I don't know how to explain it. And we know that Jesus sent demons into pigs. We know that a donkey spoke in the Old Testament. But really, the demons being into pigs, and then the verse Jesus said where when a demon is basically cast out of his stronghold or his place, whatever the manifestation may be, they go through dry places seeking something to inhabit, and they can inhabit animals. So I definitely believe that the demonic forces that they may have been somewhat possessing me, but I don't believe that they were possessing me. No one really knows about all that for sure except for Jesus. But I know that it was some deep, dark strongholds that they were in, just deep bondages. They had set up shop all around me. And when they were kicked out of that influence they had on me, I think they manifested into these animals. And because it happened twice. The first time I just thought it was weird, but when it happened again the second time the exact same way, it was just like a light bulb hit me, and all these scriptures started coming to my mind, and I was like, wow, just understanding the kingdom of darkness and the whole invisible realm. And so clearly I saw through that fasting, it was just that superpower from the fasting and just putting it all before the Lord and being better off alone with God, as opposed to, you weren't finding me in the bars and the clubs or with my friends wilding out during those times. You were finding me seeking alone with the Lord. And when I was that last moment laid out, it was just that still small voice that wasn't in the fire or the earthquake, just saying, get back up and fight another day, live another day. And funnily enough, another supernatural event that happened right here, I had this place kind of tented out with some camo tarps, and a few days later, a whirlwind came through my backyard right here. A whirlwind came through here and just destroyed the camo tarps that were set up in the tent. I mean, they were tied down good. I mean, it was just, nothing happened to anything else around here, but a whirlwind, like the whirlwind of God, just came through with a fury and just trashed this place. It was like just tearing down the ultimate strongholds of Satan and saying, this one is mine. You have no part here anymore. And I went from wanting to die, being totally bound in stronghold, to 3 days later being in front of a huge crowd preaching. Somehow, what happened to that man where one day he's just down and out, just completely out of it, just this close to death, with not a care in the world or a hope in the world, except that small hope of Christ. That man that was just in that place of death, to 3 days later, boldly preaching and declaring the gospel in a holy place in front of many, a large crowd of many people. Something had changed in me, and from that point on, the Lord has brought me to many different places, and He's done a lot through me. He's had me preach at revivals, churches, bars, in Israel and a few places there. Brought me to the Holy Land, even to the Temple of God, and this whole concept of the Ascent to Jerusalem is just, I see my life ascending towards Christ as He has lifted me back up. As the place where I decreased is when He increased. And a lot of you are sleeping on fasting, man. You think He talks about fasting all the time. Why does He talk about fasting so much? Well, that's why. Is you need it. You need that in your life. I know I'm running close to the 10-minute mark, so I think I have time for one more story, but don't worry, I will share lots more of the demon manifestation stories as this season 2 continues. So there I was in a prayer meeting, and this was after the Holy Land, when tremendous power came upon me in the Holy Land. I felt fire fall upon me into my hands and lots of other things when I was in Tiberias. And all of a sudden I heard this voice say, go up to this man, this certain man, lay your hands on him and start speaking the words I will give you. So I just went up to this man, I laid my hand right on his heart and started speaking, and the words that were coming out were not my own language. It was a holy language, or another language. Many people call it speaking in tongues. And then I started recognizing Hebrew words coming out of my mouth. I started recognizing Hebrew words coming out of my mouth. And as soon as I said the word shalom, my hand is on this guy's heart, as soon as the word shalom came out of my mouth, all of a sudden, some demonic manifestation started happening where his body, I heard this noise, this ugh, and then his body got rock hard. I'm talking rock hard, harder than a stone. And it was started to heat up to about 1,000,000 degrees. And then he just keeled over, and this is a pretty big dude. He just keeled over, and then all of a sudden, he starts pouring out sweat out of every part of his body. And then I hear some animal growling. Some animal-like growl start coming out of him. So I just start going in, praying even harder in the spirit, both hands now, and then he drops to the ground, just collapses to the ground. So I'm positioning myself on top of him with both hands, still praying in the spirit. And a few more animal growls, a few undiscernible words that he said. And I just kept going in, and then all of a sudden, he just stood up. And something shot out the place. You could kind of hear something hit the roof. And all of a sudden, he just stood up. And he said, I'm good. And he just stood up, and he had a whole different look on his face. His whole countenance and demeanor was just completely changed. Just completely changed. He had this look of peace on his face. He lifted his hands towards the heavens and started just praising God for the rest of the night, for about an hour and a half. Just praising God, just as carefree as can be. No burden whatsoever left. And whatever I was speaking in the other tongues or in Hebrew, maybe I was directly speaking to demonic entities or spirits, but I never even had to command that demon spirit to leave in my own tongue. It was just whatever the spirit was speaking through me, and just the anointing that was on me, that led the demons to flee, because when the light comes in, the darkness cannot abide. So if anything, I just want to show you how real this invisible realm is. A lot of people don't think it's real. They say they don't see this kind of stuff in America, so they're just like, oh yeah, right, yeah, blah blah blah, you're just talking, you're just trying to brag, you're this and that stuff isn't real, it's only for the disciples. That couldn't be farther from the truth. So in closing, we see how real demons are. We're going to get more into demons in the next couple of weeks, and also we're going to really dig into righteousness, because it is the prayers of the righteous that availeth much. It's not just your prayers or prayer, it's the prayers of the righteous that availeth much. But if you don't know what righteousness is, hypnotized by the culture, you will never have powerful prayers. If you're scared to fast and spend that alone time with God and go through those things to where you can get back up, you will not have the power that I experienced, that He wishes to give to you. How the fasting is so important. The better off alone, that alone time with God, where you're alone from the world and all the other influences, just with God Himself, and being with God as opposed to other people, and then just getting back up when you're down and out. How all three of those fused together to change my life, to get rid of demons that were suppressing me, oppressing me, holding me down and holding me back. But I did get back up through the plan of God, and now I've been moving forward in this one direction, and He wants to do that with your life too. So if you want me to pray for you, just let me know, and remember that this invisible realm is real, and never give up. No matter what, never ever give up. So stay tuned to next week. Remember, fast, get alone with God, and get back up. That supercharged prayer power from the lifestyle of righteousness is what we're going to be getting into, and you need that in your life to have victory, or you will not have the victory. You will stay in that place of death where you just get up and live every day like it's just another day, like it doesn't matter, with no hope, purpose, or dreams. But God has purpose for you. He wants to give you purpose. It's not over. It's not over. God has good plans for you. It's not over.
Stop here. Y'all keep it going, right? After the end of the night, when it's time to go, y'all gotta continue making the lifestyle. This is what it's all about. Each and every one of y'all discuss it. Y'all ready? Here we go.
I'm going local, you roll up like lights of free well rolling. Hit the lane like a bowling, hand peeling out in the whip like a stolen. Like a bad day, we was in my high candy, my heart was broken. Say goodbye to the blunts and we're pissed out, I'm all choking. Oceans, yeah, I'm floating. International evangelist, dancer, they're called chosen. I'm coasting, holy ghosting. 24 to the flow, Hulk Hogan. Now instead of cake parties, it's revivals that we hosting. Yeah, y'all having fun? Well, it's a revival, right? Go ahead and lift up holy hands to the Creator, Most High God. They ever try to tell you you're over? You're not over, you just getting started. He's got plans to prosper you. Let's go.
One day, you know what I'm saying? We gonna spend all eternity with the Father. You coming with me? I know Jay hand rolling. Crossover. Yeah.
Because life was Christ. Y'all won't let that light shine. You gonna let it burn. You won't let forever one day. This life on this earth is over. And there's only one or two places you wanna go. You wanna go. One more.
But it's not over. We'll start it again. After the end of the day, it keeps getting better.
Yeah,
Don't be
y'all ready?
We'll do
Here we go. I'm going low-key, the road up like waxed up street wells rolling. Hit the lane like a bowling, hand peeling out in the whip like it's stolen. Like a bad date, I'm leaving sin behind. Credited, my old heart was broken. Say goodbye to the blunts and the lick, pieced out on all the choking. Good oceans, yeah, I'm floating. International evangelist, answer the call that's chosen. I'm coasting, holy ghosting. 24s to the flow, Hulk Hogan. Now instead of cake parties, it's revivals that we hosting. Yeah, y'all having fun? I mean, it's a revival, right? Go ahead and lift up holy hands to the Creator, Most High God. They ever try to tell you you're over? You're not over, you just getting started. He's got plans to prosper you. Let's go.